Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest Arc, Chapter 10. We left off with these three dragon-eating slayers, whatever you want to call them, showing back up at the Water God Dragon's domain, castle, and this entire chapter was basically a battle chapter. People facing off against others. I hesitate to say that plot wasn't pushed forward because there was some developments, but it wasn't anything big like the last time. Things showed up with us learning that the girl is actually some kind of evil witch. So this is a lot of action, but it's a lot of fun action. So let's get to it. So we start off with the Water God Dragon basically attacking them just straight out of the gate. He launches some pillars of water at them, and the Ash guy, the guy covered in skulls and whatever, he basically turns water into ash. I don't know how that works, but I'm sure we'll find out eventually. And he basically gets incapacitated in a sense. That brings us to our crew basically jumping in. Natsu goes in to fight the Ash guy, the skull guy, but ultimately gets thrown away, and Gray jumps in to basically be like, I'll take this guy on, because I don't know whether he could turn, apparently he could turn water to ash, but maybe not ice, I don't know. Maybe it's because Gray's abilities are now kind of, he doesn't just do ice make magic, now he has devil ice make magic, or whatever it's called, demon ice make magic, devil. I don't know, whatever, it's been a while. Either way, he's holding the skeleton guy off, and Natsu ends up getting thrown to fight the armor guy, and they're basically duking it out, and Natsu's not really putting much of a dent on him because his armor is indestructible, and I'm sure that there'll be a way to destroy his armor at some point, but right now, Natsu's punching him and having like his hand busted up or whatever, blood coming out in like little spurts or whatever. But yeah, so they're duking it out. Gray's fighting the skeleton guy, and Urza ends up fighting the girl. So it's a sword against blade it's a blade against blade kind of thing. Lucy and Wendy are kind of in the background because they're obviously the weakest people there. So they're kind of running, I guess, defense and support at this point. I'm gonna take this one thing at a time. So Gray is fighting Skeleton Guy, but honestly, the two of them don't really get much screen time in this chapter. They're kind of off to the side. It's mostly Natsu and Urza fight with their two opponents, and we focus first on Natsu and this armor guy. I guess he's the armor dragon slayer. I don't quite understand. I'm sure we'll get more and more into this, but I'm not quite sure I understand the elements that the dragons that they represent. He's armor, but like Gajiel is a steel dragon. So his skin is already kind of like armor. So I just don't get it there. But either way, this guy, I kind of like him. he's goofy. He's very polite. He might be the enemy, but he's actually very nice. Or more or less, he'll fight you back, but he'll say, "Hi, how are you?" Whatever. And so his first thing is he says, "Nice to meet you." And with a frown and whatever, and Natsu's just basically gonna be like, "I'm gonna roast you." They're tussling it out, and eventually Natsu basically blows him up into the sky and out of the castle water, and they're kind of tussling it out in the air. Natsu uses the like Fire Dragon King demolition punch or whatever, and gets his hand all messed up. He just cannot get a beat on this guy because his armor is just so strong, and it's a very difficult thing for him because he's fought again. Gajiel has that kind of similar thing. It's a steel armor kind of thing. But there's got to be something that sets this guy apart. I don't know exactly what it is, but his abilities as a dragon slayer seem currently the most generic, I guess. Like, the girl, and I'll get to the girl in a second, but the girl is, at the very least, she's kind of got a weird niche that, like, is different and weird. This just seems like, oh, he's indestructible. He can't be, his armor can't be pierced. But like, theoretically, at one point, I keep talking about Gajeel because he's the Steel Dragon Slayer, he's the Metal Dragon Slayer or whatever, and it's the same kind of thing. At one point, he would have said that too. So I'm a little confused as to what this guy's abilities fully are, and I'm sure again we'll get into this. So either way, they're duking it out in this sky. Eventually, Natsu gets grabbed by the guy and he gets thrown at their boat. Natsu's like, "Oh no, it's a boat! This is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good." He gets slammed into the boat. The guy's like, "Oh, that was a good one," and he lands on this weird, like pathway that's on the water. I don't know whether it's a pathway that he's made or whether it's some kind of like thing that they had already set up. See, if it's something that he made, maybe it's like he can control kind of like armor-like substances, or maybe he can make certain things harder than they normally are, and that's his ability. I don't know, but either way, he lands on this pathway and starts making his way to the boat. Natsu's on the boat thinking like, oh god, ugh. And then he realizes he's on a boat and he starts getting sick because he's a dragon slayer. And Armor Guy shows up and he's like, nope, this is the end. You're done for. It turns out that these new Dragon Slayers, this new generation of Dragon Slayers, do not have the motion sickness that all the other Dragon Slayers have. Or at least all the generation of Dragon Slayers that are on Natsu, Gajeel, Wendy, Rogue, Sting, on their level. So and that's going to give them a leg up on this as far as fighting on moving objects goes. Now, we jump back to underwater with the slashing, the slicing Dragon Slayer girl and Urza, and they're just going at it. Urza's got her swords out. There's a lot of acrobatics going on here, and they're honestly both kind of enjoying it to some degree. The Dragon Slayer girl a lot more than Urza, and they're fighting, they're slashing it out, they're kind of busting some stuff up. The Dragon Slayer girl's like, "You're really strong. This is great. This is like a close fight," and Urza's like, she's not gonna lose because her swords are for her friends. She fights to defend them, and this is not gonna go down the way the Dragon Slayer girl wants. However, things take a turn for the worse because then we get a new form of her ability. So far, her ability has been like external weird slashes. She kind of has the ability of the one captain from Black Clover, where she basically can just like make like she makes her hand flat and her palm flat, and then she just basically like cuts the air and cuts everything that she like waves it past or whatever. So that's been her main ability so far, and it's a very abstract ability to some degree because like every other Dragon Slayer that we've seen has had some kind of elemental ability to some degree, and even the Armor Guy, his armor is like hard, so it's a physical object. Hers has been a little bit more abstract, and it even gets more abstract now because of her new ability that they're showing off here. And it's this weird shockwave that she sends flying into Urza, and it just kind of goes right through her, and Urza's like, wait a second, a shockwave? Ugh! And then suddenly Urza's personality changes entirely. She becomes embarrassed about how she's wearing a bikini, and it almost seems like she's a different person, or like has lost some kind of memory to some degree. And it turns out that she has these, I guess her name is Kiria or something. I'm still learning names here. But the Dragon Slayer girl has basically cut through her strength, I guess, her willpower, and that is basically just this has become a far more abstract Dragon Slayer ability than we've seen at all. Even compared to like, I don't even know, like I guess wind even is like, wind is in a way like it's not tangible to some degree, but like this is like more of a mental thing. So I'm very interested to find out what her source ability was. Like the dragon that she ate, what was its main thing? Because this is like goes beyond just like, oh, she can kind of send shockwaves and like hurt her opponent at a distance. This goes on to be like, oh, well, she can cut through like mental ability. She can cut through maybe magic too. And it's a very interesting, different take on Dragon Slayer abilities. I'm interested. I'm wanting. So I guess this is kind of like Urza and Urza's down for the count, and I imagine Lucy and Wendy kind of have to pick up some of the slack as Urza's freaking out because she's all, spare me, please, don't hurt me, I'm begging you, which is really out of character for her. And I'm sure that eventually she'll get her revenge. But yeah, overall, this has been a weird. I'm trying to wrap my head around these Dragon Slayers. I'm very confused about how their abilities, but overall, I am liking that they are different because they're not what we're used to, and it kind of does make you question what you already know. Anyways, overall, I enjoyed this chapter. It was a lot of action, a lot of fun. There was some cool back and forth between Natsu and the Iron Guy and Urza and her opponent Kiria, I guess. I guess in the next chapter we'll probably get more of Gray and the skeleton guy. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section about this. Did you enjoy this? Are you liking the direction that they're taking with these new Dragon Slayers? Are the abilities too abstract? Are the abilities so different that like they'll be hard to show in a physical sense? It's harder to understand an ability if you don't have a firm grasp of where it's rooted. So I'm wondering where these abilities are gonna go as far as like what they can and cannot do, how to defeat them, and all of that. So I'm interested to see where these battles go. Let me know what you guys thought. I will see you guys in another video. I have a theory video about the Water God Dragon and Jalal that maybe I'll make a video on. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. So long.